I went to Portland, Oregon recently to help my friend pack up her condo, and she had recently sold it. These are some of the other condo buildings around it in the Pearl District. As you can see, there's a lot of empty patios, yet there is not much for sale in the area. And here's the early evening, and there are still a few lights on. So I assume these are investments that people make. This is great if you love that shrieking metallic sound from the streetcars and the occasional shouting from the streets. There are tons of mosquitoes, and I was really curious about this, why there were so many, even up here on this floor. And in the morning, I realized when I went to this park that it's a special wetland area. And then here's where we come into the other part of Portland that lives side by side with these amazing condos. This is just a little bit of the plywood and graffiti and alternate housing that you can see around Portland these days. So you can get a condo for a very reasonable price, or $25 for a tent at the thrift store, and people sometimes even just buy them for you. Meanwhile, the shopping is somewhat limited. But this is my favorite place in the world, the biggest bookstore for used and new books in the world. But out of spending hours there, I don't know what happened, but there weren't as many books that I wanted. Usually I have to fight with myself to not grab 20 books to buy to take home. But all the books that I would look up on the computer and then go looking for them on the shelves, I couldn't find them. 68,000 square feet of books, and I left with very little. Just one book. But I could have bought a little AOC goddess statue. I used to love visiting Portland for the music, the art, taking art classes, craft classes. But now I really wonder if it's worth going there anymore, unless you have a really good alarm system on your car. My friend and I were on a mission, so I'm not even showing the worst areas or the places along the freeways and underpasses. And what I thought was wild was there's a tent right next to the train station. The bridges are still pretty though, and there are walks along the river that you can do. But town was pretty empty considering it's a beautiful day in July. So what do you think? Would you pay $500,000 to live in a studio-size condo with hallways that look like prison? And there's your neighbors. And here's where you cook. It's all in one room together. Goodbye, Portland.